What's going on? Jake here with Uncommon EDC, doing my second pocket dump video. If you haven't watched the first, I do recommend checking it out because I do my pocket dumps a little bit differently, which I explained in that video. Don't really like centering them around a specific date because it's hard to recall if you want to go back and find the specific video. It's harder to remember February 3rd than it is to remember a $150 budget, or in this case, Star Wars themed. And so do it around themes. And then the only other kind of really major thing is that I'm not buying any items specifically for these pocket dump videos. It has to be something already in my collection. So with that being said, this video is going live on May the 4th. So my wife came up with the idea, why don't you do a Star Wars themed pocket dump, which I thought was a great idea. However, I don't have a lot of EDC gear outside of playing cards where it's specifically Star Wars themed, but was still able to put together surprisingly thorough kit with that theme. I did base it on multiple characters because like one colorway I wasn't really able to get a full EDC set, but by doing multiple characters I was able to tie it all together. So let's start off with what you already see on the table, the Theory 11 Mandalorian deck. And so I do collect playing cards. I realize this isn't part of everyone's EDC, and I don't even carry playing cards every day, but I do collect them, so like to carry them. This one has a really cool deck. Theory 11 has some other Star Wars as well, but like the theme on this one, they do really great licensed stuff with a lot of major movie franchises, and so always going to have these two foil embossed tuck cases with really intricate designs on the face cards and aces, really nice designs on the back. So definitely great playing cards, and they're readily available, which is cool. They're also the company that did the Pete's Pirate Life playing cards, the Piracy set. So if you watch that video, same company did these ones. Not going to show everything in the deck because this isn't really a playing card channel, but do enjoy carrying playing cards, so I thought I'd start it off with that. Now, the first item, the knife in this one, is a knife that's probably one of my most carried knives ever, and that's the Benchmade Mini Bug Out, one of my favorites. This is white handle, black blade, so obviously in that Stormtrooper theme, and I tried to do 2 to 3 items in each character. And so Stormtrooper theme, I have a few knives in this colorway, but because I've carried this one more than the others, I thought this one made the most sense to go in this video. And really love this knife. It's really compact and lightweight, perfect for throwing in basketball shorts or that fifth pocket, which I've carried a lot in combination with this second item, which is probably one of the harder to find items on here. And that's the Victorinox Spartan. Now the knife, or Swiss Army knife in particular, isn't hard to find, but in this particular colorway it is. So the white scales are available, I think still pretty readily, but this one actually has black tools on it, which is pretty rare for a Swiss Army knife. Usually they're always that satin finish, so you can see it has those blackened tools on there, which look really great and definitely give off that same Stormtrooper vibe. And so one of my favorite Swiss Army knives, I'm really behind on Swiss Army knife and multi-tool videos. I have a ton that I haven't done videos on, including this one, so I will at some point, but for now, that's the Swiss Army knife in here. Now I did want to get a multi-tool in here as well, and so we're going to shift over to just kind of the OG character, Darth Vader. Really simple one. This is probably the easiest one if you wanted to build a full kit, and I probably could have, but I thought it was a little bit less fun than just doing, you know, a blackout video basically to get Darth Vader. So I went with the Leatherman rebar, just a couple items blacked out, and this comes in regular metal finish as well, satin finish I guess. And I have the blacked out version. So really good multi-tool, one of my favorite Leathermans actually. And I've had this one for a while. I think they're around 80 bucks if I remember correctly nowadays, but I think I paid under 40 for it. So definitely shows how long I've had that one. Now, the next item you've seen a lot in recent videos if you watch my other videos, and that's the Soul Built Marksmith. This is a bolt action permanent marker, and I've just really been enjoying this one. A lot of fun. Really fidgety, and obviously mine is DLC coated, so this is titanium, but this is a DLC coated black version, which kind of rounded out that Darth Vader portion of the carry. Now next up is another iconic OG character, and that's C-3PO. This one was a little bit hard because I think technically he's bronze, so neither of, or I guess none of the items really are bronze, they're brass or copper. And in different scenes, the lighting can make them look brass or copper, but not exactly the right material for C-3PO. But for the sake of this video, I think it fits the theme well enough. So we'll start out with the Everyman Grafton. This is a pen from Everyman. It's a twist. This is specifically the twist, and it is in brass. This one goes on sale quite a bit, so I think it's usually around 60 bucks, but you can get it a lot of the times for 30, or buy one, get one free at least, so that brings the price of 2 of them down to 30, and really, really great pen. I love the way it writes. I don't remember offhand the insert that I have in here, but it is a twist, and the extra heft from it being brass really makes it feel just really substantial and kind of glides on the paper. I don't know, I love the way this one writes, even in comparison to some of my other Everyman pens. So definitely worth checking out if you're in the market for a pen. Not too expensive, but also a little bit of a step up from your standard Bics and stuff like that. Now for a lighter, I went with another brass item. This is the Supreme Zippo. Zippo does make just a plain brass version. I just didn't have one handy, so this one kind of goes in there. Obviously, that Supreme logo all over it is taking it out of that Star Wars universe a little bit, but still a good looking lighter, really reliable. Obviously, Zippo is super reliable, doesn't hold its feel super well, but cool lighters and fit the theme. Now, as I alluded to, kind of getting out of the colorway here with the flashlight. This is the Pokelit, Ace Beam Pokelit, and this is one that just came in a going gear box. It's copper instead of brass, and so it doesn't match that exactly, but like I said, different scenes, kind of looks a little bit different. You can see I've only had this probably less than a week at this point, and it's already starting to patina quite a bit. Was really excited to get this flashlight. It was a long, drawn out wait, which made it, I guess, a little bit more exciting, but cool flashlight from Ace Beam. They make some great ones. In fact, this isn't the only one you're gonna see in the video, but that kind of rounds out the main portion of the carry for this video. Now, I did have some honorable mentions, but was able to put a pretty complete carry. I'm missing a watch here and a wallet. Could have thrown in just any black wallet, I guess, but didn't really have anything that screamed Star Wars to me, so didn't include them, didn't want to just put it in for the sake of putting it in. But do have some honorable mentions that definitely fit this theme. And the first two are going to represent another character that I feel like couldn't be left out, even though it's not part of the main character. So I'm going to start with this one, which I didn't want to be my main knife because it's not readily available. This is the Buck Budgie, and this specific one is coated, Cerakoted with blue and white to give you that R2-D2 theme. Also changed the steel to D2, which I think was technically a downgrade. I don't remember what the steel was, but I think when I was making the video, I was like, why'd they do D2? But coated to look like R2-D2, really cool knife, but pretty limited. This was the buck of the month from last May, and I believe there was 1,000 or less of these. Usually that's the case with their buck of the month. They do 1,000. I think they've done 750 and some of them 500. So they're gonna be pretty limited. Didn't wanna put this as the main knife, since if you wanted to go find this, it's gonna be pretty hard to find, and so prefer stuff that's a little bit more readily available. Like the Spartan, this colorway is hard to find, but you can easily pick up a Spartan at any time in different colors, so didn't mind including that one. Now, I did mention a second Ace Beam flashlight. This one is also following that R2-D2 theme. This is the Ace Beam RX. They have a couple of flashlights that I have that fit the bill here, but that blue core really gives it that R2-D2 look with the metallic finish and blue core. This one's also another bolt action one, so really for no reason besides removing the head here and getting rid of the button, but you can see it pushes up and this head is twist off after that and you can push it back. Really, I think the only reason is just being kind of fidgety and fun, but really cool flashlight from Ace Beam. And like I said, there's a number of Ace Beam flashlights that fit the bill for the Star Wars theme if you're looking for something specifically. Now, didn't want to leave out a lightsaber. I don't have any of the Microtech OTFs that, you know, fit that theme and are made to be Star Wars themed. And so I went with something from the camping aisle of Walmart or Target. I've grabbed a couple of these. They're usually pretty cheap. You can get them on clearance a lot of the times. I'll see them, and so anytime I see them, I grab them. They're not super bright, but this is from Coleman, and there's a couple brands that make them, and some of them are no-name brands. Coleman's obviously a well-known brand, but also a budget-friendly brand. These are probably $2 or $3 most of the time. If you get them on sale, $5 if you don't. And these light up. They're obviously wands, so they kind of light up and give that lightsaber vibe, I think. Although this one's orange, so not perfect in that scenario. But it also has a regular light that's not super bright, but does the job. You can use them in combo and also a signal flash. And so just kind of a random one. Didn't feel right not having anything around that lightsaber theme in a Star Wars video, so included that. Now the last one is one that I don't think is still available, but this is from a company called I Am Quartermaster, and really cool company. They do a lot of stuff around chess, but they had a series of puzzles in Altoid tins. This is a Millennium Falcon, and really cool puzzles. They're clear, pretty simple, so these are great for like kids that are old enough to not swallow the pieces, but not so old that they're gonna solve it in a minute and a half. And so great for kids, great just kind of carry along puzzle that I thought was pretty fun. You can see it's see-through, but those pieces do have the same image as on the front of the Altoid tin. So definitely a fun company worth checking out. They do a lot of coins, and like I said, a lot of chess related stuff. And so I'm sure they're gonna do more of these puzzles in the future. They ended up making 4 different ones in the Star Wars theme, and then maybe they'll make some other themed ones in the future. But another cool company worth checking out that I thought I'd throw in the video, even though not part of the main carry. But let me know what you think of my Star Wars carry. Again, taking these items out a little bit since those were just honorary mentions, but everything you kind of see in frame still was part of that main carry. So let me know what you replace, what you're carrying for May the 4th, if you have, you know, stuff that's supposed to be Star Wars. One thing that I did leave out that I was pretty surprised about, honestly, was a Hank. And so I know Gondek EDC has some Hanks right now that are Star Wars themed. I have some really great space themed Hanks from Awesome Hank Gear, I think a couple other companies as well, but none of them were specifically Star Wars, and so they didn't really fit even if they were space themed, they didn't really fit the vibe of Star Wars specifically. So decided to leave those out. I didn't want to just include items just to shove them in there. I really wanted to be intentional items that are useful, that you can kind of understand how they fit into that Star Wars universe with my carry, but also really subtle. You know, none of this stuff screams Star Wars outside of the deck of cards, obviously, but carrying them, you know it's Star Wars, but no one else looking at it is gonna say, hey, that's a Star Wars, you know, knife combo in your pocket. It's just white and black. So really, really cool carry, I think. I had fun putting this one together, so shout out to my wife for the idea, but would love to hear your thoughts on it, and again, what you're carrying for May the 4th. But thanks so much for watching. As always, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button, and I hope you have a great one. Take care.